story unfolding before their eyes.
Of a UFO battle in orbit around Earth.
I believe that's 504,
Welcome back to Aussie UFO News. And yes, for all them people that are messaging me in my inbox, I am going to change my intro when I get the time to do so. It's just hard with life and everything going on, but I am going to do a better intro eventually when I get around to it. On top of everything that's been going on, like the bombshell Ross Coulthard dropped about the Tic Tac object that was recorded by Nimitz.
I'm going to leave you with one thought today, Bryce. I now know categorically that the Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology.
Okay.
The Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology. Why are we being lied to?
Off the coast of Florida, being a Lockheed Martin craft which supports Dr. Stephen Greer's allegations, which sometimes seem absolutely ridiculous with the overconfidence he has and how direct he is. But I think a lot of things Dr. Stephen Greer does mention are real, and I do think aspects of what he says are also wrong. But overall, I think he has it pretty down pat with what's been going on with the cover-up of zero-point gravity and anti-gravity physics. So aside from all that crazy news, I got inboxed by an incredible UAP witness from South Australia that has a very long history with the phenomena. He's been getting, you could say, visited or whatever you want to say, or having encounters by the phenomenon for a lot of years now. And he just sent me some recent photos and videos which he's been taking since he's been watching my channel. So let's jump into it and see what the witness Richie has caught on his S24 Samsung camera. Now, just to start, he does capture a lot of images and videos of helicopters that do look militarized, and also high-flying planes and maybe reconnaissance planes, but they're probably just commercial. On his phone, he captures a lot of images of them and a lot of these strange bird-looking things, but I'll save them for another video. We'll jump into, I think, the most realistic UAP photos that Ritchie took. Okay, so in the first photo, it doesn't look like much, but as you zoom in, you start to see this strange tic-tac shaped looking object. Could it be a plane? Or is it something else? In these next photos, you see this other sort of object on another day that looks like a normal plane flying with the propulsion coming out the back. But then when you look to the right, you see these two smaller objects, one larger than the other, that are very strange to be caught on camera just sitting there in the sky. You can see one has a silver kind of orb looking shape, and then one's that far off in the distance that it's just like a little white speck. Now, this next object that he captures is quite unbelievable, and I've seen this thing caught in the sky captured before in one of my previous videos. I believe was over Redfern in South Sydney. It's this kind of orb dome looking object that has this inner circle in it, but you can see the propulsion coming off it, which makes me think that it might not be a UAP. But the more stranger thing is, as you look in the top left corner, you see that little white light, that little white dot object again appear in the corner of screen. And then if you look down lower in the bottom right, you see again this tube or cylindrical looking shaped object right down the bottom right of the photo. Very, very strange to capture all the time for one person to be taking photos of the sky and capturing such anomalies. Now we've got some of the photos out the way, let's hop to the video footage that Ritchie has taken of these insane UAP encounters. But first, before we get to that, I just wanted to mention that I've just released the first ever stickers from Aussie UFO News, so a little bit of amateur merch for you. If any of you want to purchase it, go to my eBay store. The link will be in the description below, or just message me directly on Instagram and I can send them off to you. Cheers. Alright, back to the footage. So just to mention, As I was making this video midway through, I just had a thought to ask Richie, because of all the plane footage and these strange objects flying that do resemble some sort of man-made craft, to ask him if he lived near any army barracks or test ranges. And then he told me that he does live right next to Warradale Army Barracks, which is a relatively big installation too. He said prior to the escalation of the UFO activity, he says it was very dimly lit, and he said since January this year it has been like daylight. He says the correlation makes sense to him. Now, is there possibly a re-engineering program going on of unidentified craft and unknown technologies? Now, on the map, you can see the area he lives in and how close it is, and like he mentioned, the size of this base. But as you look at the area surrounding it, there also is a second installation here. As you come up northwest, you see Hampstead Barracks, and then further up, the RAAF base Edinburgh. The other thing I noticed was in the surrounding area, the large, dense bushland and also kind of desolate area that possibly secret programs could be taking place in. So I am making a correlation definitely between these sightings Ritchie is having, saying some could be man-made craft or back-engineered craft, and some could be actual UAP objects in the sky. Let's get into some of the videos now. Okay, this first one looks like it could be some type of back-engineered military technology. I'm not quite sure, but I've enhanced the quality in this second video. There's also a small object in the background. Not sure what this object is, but the witness said that it leveled out, so it possibly could be some type of back-engineered craft. This one's very strange, but I do believe this is a manned aircraft. It does look tic-tac shaped, but I think it's, as I said, some type of aeroplane or reconnaissance plane just taking off. But the way it accelerates is kind of strange, but I'm sticking with this is some sort of military or commercial aeroplane. Nevertheless, we'll never know what it is until it's confirmed. Make sure you deliver your input as well into the comments on what you think certain ones are and your description on them. And also, people, if you live in the area or anywhere in Australia or worldwide and you see similar things, report them to me at my email aussieUFOnews@gmail.com or just message me on Instagram. This last video I definitely think is a military craft of some sort, probably doing training through the skies out of that air base that the witness lives near. He said it had a green pulse coming out of it, but I think it's as it's going through the clouds, it's making some sort of pulse-like imaging through his phone. But I think it's definitely some sort of military craft in this last video. That just about wraps it up. Let me know what footage you think could possibly be UAP and what you think is definitely military craft doing either training or testing out some sort of new military aircraft. Also, please share my videos around like I always say to your friends, and don't forget the merch stickers that I'm selling now. Support the channel, buy them for your family, your friends. They're bumper stickers for the back of your card. Represent Aussie UFO News, bringing you the truth about UAPs with my honest opinion. And follow us on Instagram too. Good night.